send us your WhatsApp or SMS. 070 33408755. 070-3340-8755. Can my producer please send us a message from one of our viewers so we can take that before we go on? Okay, it's maybe my crew should look at it. I don't think I can see it from here. But quickly, all right, it says, excellent morning to you. Some people are of the school of thought that the military regime is what is good for us in Africa, especially Nigeria, since the democracy regime has offered us nothing over the years. What is your take on this? This is Shegun from Mushi. You want to say thank you to Shegun?
Well, Shegun, thank you for your contribution. But I don't know how old you are, but if you have been witness to military rule in this country of ours, I'm not sure you can point to the specifics how they are better than the civilian administration. If you witness the Babangida and the Abacha junta's regime, then you know that you have a rethink on what you have just said. That was an era where if you have a dissenting voice, if you are not arrested and incarcerated without trial, you'll be either sent to your early grave or you are lucky to run into exile. I don't think a lot of people who are calling for military intervention in Africa, they need to go and look at the history of military in Africa. You go to Uganda, you look at an Idi Amin. You go to Congo.
Yes.
You look at persons like Mobutu Sese Seko, who transmitted from a military ruler. You talk about Gbasigbe Yadema in Togo.
Yes.
So I don't think, if you look at all the parameters of development, the number of years we've had civilian administrations have been too short for us to measure them. You look at the example of Niger that has just had a military rule, a military intervention. The president came into office in March 2021. Yes. And from the indices of development and governance, the country has been able to tackle insurgency by almost 80%. Meanwhile, Mali and Burkina Faso, that torpedo a civilian administration, is doing far worse. And that is why today those two countries, including Guinea, who are under military rule, are siding with the military coupists in Niger. So I don't know except if you bring your parameters and let us measure. Because I'm a scientist, I don't speak just on on the surface on the face of it. I speak to the issues deeper. Is it about education? Is it about health? Is it about infrastructure? In what way is the military better than the civilian regime? You need to bring the parameters and let us
Okay, all right. So I hope that answered your question. So we're waiting for other viewers to join us with their comment. Then we'll take it off from there. Now, Nelson, a Greek philosopher just like you said that poverty is actually the mother of all crimes. Now, yes. Now, can this be the reason for the raging militancy and malcontent among Nigerian Gen X to Gen Z? Are you saying that, like some of the points that our viewer just raised right now, that maybe
it's not poverty. The reason for the orientation of the Gen Zs today is because a lot of them are victims of no parenting. Oh, they are victims because you recollect when we were growing up, this is a child that when you get to a certain age, your parents enroll you in school. You go to school, you come back home, your parents want to see your exercise book, what you have done. And when PTA meetings time comes, parents are always there to interface with the school authorities. But we live in a society today whereby when the parent enrolls the child in school, maybe the child is in primary 6 or SS2, the parent does not know. The child will be leaving home without a bag. The parents are, in those days, You dare not leave home with what you are not supposed to. You just be going. Your father will say, "Come here, bring your bag." We set it. I'm as a parent. My children are in two of my children are in the public school, boarding school, and we went for the school was supposed to go on this midterm break.
Yes.
And parents came and said, "Teacher,
Don't let them come.
don't let them come home. We want them to." I'm like, the teacher is also a parent now. How can you say your own children? Somebody should be training your children for you. Where is it done? Why are you a parent? That's why I said there's no parenting. It's because these Gen Zs don't have the type of orientation, the type of training our parents gave to us. And that is why they are. And that is why a lot of us as parents, we have a lot of work to do. Majorly. The social malaise we are afflicted with in our society today is due to when they say militancy, criminality, cultism. Can my son join cultism? He dare not. My father will tell you, these are the do's and don'ts. If you go outside it, you face the. So you already know that my father must not. In those, sir, in those days, in our homes, if your neighbor there beats you, and your father hears, you take times 3 because for the parent for your neighbor to have disciplined you, you have done something wrong.
Yes.
Then you know that then we lived in a society then that even if you say you are the most wayward young man, you know that there's one baba or one mama on that street that must not hear. That if he or she hears it, you are a soup. It's not your parent too. We are just don't pass in front of Baba John's house. So if he catches you, you are a soup, But these days, the society has become an all-comers affair. The Gen Zs we are talking about, nobody is monitoring them. If you disagree with some of them on issues, the next thing they start insulting you. Is to start threatening you. No, we were not brought up that way. And as parents, we have a serious problem on our hands. And we should not allow poverty to be an escape route. It's unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. Because as a parent, if you know your capacity can accommodate just a child or two, so be it. Don't come and create problem for the society. A lot of times when crises occur, they start go and call police. I ask them, did somebody join the police to come and work and die? Shouldn't a policeman retire and enjoy the retirement he has? So for me, I definitely disagree that poverty is the cause of where we have found ourselves today. It's due to the erosion of our values.
Okay, all right. I like that again because that is actually, as it were, linking up with what some state governments are doing right now across the country. And that's what they are saying, that they are promoting part of our cultural identities as icons of democracy and freedom of religion, freedom of expression. Now, so are you saying we can replicate this across the country? Is that what you're preaching?
Absolutely. Our culture, even our cultural practices, through our cultural practices, we have been able to make technological, evolutions. Some of our cultural practices are such that during our dancing festivals,
yes,
some persons will put on some attire that they will be in a fire and it will not get burnt. That is where they developed, this scientific knowledge of, fire resistant apparels. Yes. It was taken from. So people should not look at our culture like today as we sit down here. We're having the Isheshe Festival, the traditional festival, of which about 4 states in the southwest, Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, and Osun, have declared public holiday. Yes. When I was leaving my home, I told my family that I'm going to witness this festival. I want to see what it looks like. Yes. So people should not assume that our culture is backward. There are so many positives in our culture that has helped the evolution of man that we can tap from. So somebody believing that our culture is responsible for our state of affairs today, That is absolutely not correct. I disagree.
Okay, well, maybe you have a point there because I just want to see if you can corroborate that. Harvard University has taken up IFA study for what is that, Nelson? You say, is this something you are supporting?
Absolutely. Because even the, from our historical antecedent, there's this information that I have not, researched into, that IFA is the first cause of civilization.
Yes.
Because even algebra...
Binary theory.
Yes, it's gotten from IFA. I know of, some of these are leaders that, you mentioned, or you failed to mention. Somebody like Baba Mojola, if you remember.
Yes.
I worked, I was a close associate of Baba till he died. And I gave God the glory that I was one of those who buried him. And if there's one thing Baba does not play with, it is the IFA methodology.